You watched the game, you felt it. And if you're honest, you've probably been thinking the same thing I am. That loss to the Broncos wasn't just one bad quarter, or a fluke. It looked like an all-systems failure from the defense. They gave up 426 total yards, including 179 rushing yards, and the Broncos converted on roughly 62% of third-down attempts. Numbers that don't lie, and that put the whole unit under a microscope. When you break that down, what jumps out is not one missed call or one bad play by a single player, but a pattern. Missed tackles in the box, confusion on coverage rotations, and the kind of third-down defense that couldn't get off the field when it mattered the most. That's the kind of performance that gets fans yelling for a change. And honestly, you can see why the conversation about Matt Eberflus being on the hot seat has come roaring back. Before we go any further, real quick, if you like this kind of no-nonsense Cowboys analysis, please subscribe and help us hit our goal of 16,000 subscribers so we can keep making quick reaction videos like this every time something big happens. Also, drop a like on the video now if you want more breakdowns like this every week. Let's be clear. Eberflus didn't walk into this job as a blank slate. He's back with Dallas after previous stints in the league, and there was reason to be optimistic. This staff viewed him as someone who could bring structure and accountability. That history matters because it's the reason the front office showed patience earlier in the season, but patience wears thin when the defense gives up nearly 1,000 yards and can't stop opponents on third down. From your seat, which bothers you most, the scheme, the coaching adjustments, or the players simply not executing? I want you to answer that in the comments. Scheme, sacrifice, coaching, players. Your votes will shape the next conversation. I know many of you will point to injuries in the secondary and say, give them a break. And there's truth to that. Missing pieces do change how a unit performs. But the bigger problem here is consistent. Even with injuries, you expect a coordinator to adjust, to scheme around the losses, to simplify assignments, to get pressure on third down, or to at least tighten gaps against the run. When adjustments don't show up on the scoreboard, the questions hit the coach. So here's the opening question for everyone watching right now. Do you think one game of this magnitude should be enough to fire a defensive coordinator? Or should the team give Eberflus more time to correct course? Type yes if you think he should be fired now, no if you want more time, and explain why. I'll read every answer. Let's really dig in, because this is where things start to get complicated. Whenever fans call for a coach's job, the next question always has to be, why? Is it because the scheme doesn't fit the players? Is it because the players are underperforming? Or is it because the play calling and adjustments just haven't been good enough under Matt Eberflus? And right now, Cowboys Nation seems split right down the middle on that question. When you watch this defense closely, you see flashes of brilliance. The kind that makes you say, yeah, this group can dominate any Sunday. But then, just as quickly, you see confusion, hesitation, and players that look out of sync. That's what drives fans crazy. Eberflus' system is built around discipline, fast reads, and gang tackling. But when the fundamentals break down, when one guy misses a gap or another hesitates a second too long, the whole thing collapses. And that's exactly what we've seen too often this season. Now, to be fair, this isn't the first time Eberflus has faced this kind of heat. Remember his time with the Colts? He had a defense that could look elite one week and then give up huge numbers the next. His supporters always argued that his players just needed time to master the system, that it wasn't about the design, but about the execution. And that argument might hold some truth again here in Dallas. The question is, how long do you wait before realizing the system might not fit the personnel you've got? Because let's talk personnel. Micah Parsons, for example, is one of the most dynamic defensive players in the league. But if he's being asked to play too rigidly within a system, you're handcuffing one of your biggest weapons. Fans see it, analysts see it, and you can bet players feel it. You have to let stars be stars. That's where Eberflus's philosophy, structured, methodical, disciplined, might be clashing with the natural explosiveness of guys like Parsons, Darren Bland, or DeMarcus Lawrence. These players thrive in chaos, not in over-calculated reads. And yet, when execution breaks down, missed tackles, poor angles, late reactions, Eberflus still has to wear that responsibility. It's his system, his coaching, his job to make sure guys know what they're doing. So it's fair to ask, is this a coaching failure or a talent misalignment? That's the balance the Cowboys have to figure out fast. Because if the players are confused, the system isn't working, no matter how well it looks on a whiteboard. Now let's get real about the big question. Every Cowboys fan is asking, what would it actually take for Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy to pull the plug on Matt Eberflus? Because saying, fire the defensive coordinator, is easy. But making that move mid-season, especially in Dallas, that's a whole different story. The Cowboys don't make panic decisions unless they feel like they've completely lost control of a situation. So, what would that point look like? Start with repeated defensive breakdowns in key games. It's one thing to give up a big performance to an elite offense once in a while. That happens in the NFL. But when you start seeing the same mistakes week after week, missed tackles, poor third-down defense, failure to contain mobile quarterbacks, that's when ownership starts asking serious questions. If that trend keeps up and the Cowboys drop a couple more games because of defensive inconsistency, Eberflus could be in serious danger. The next trigger? Losing the locker room. That's a phrase we hear a lot, but in practical terms, it means players stop buying into the message. You start seeing more finger-pointing in post-game interviews, more anonymous quotes from sources, and less energy on the sideline. That's the kind of smoke Jerry Jones pays attention to. Because if the defense stops believing that Eberflus can lead them, then it doesn't matter how smart the scheme looks. The connection is broken. And once you lose that connection in Dallas, it's almost impossible to get it back. Another factor could be what happens if the Cowboys' offense starts carrying the entire load. Think about it. If Dak Prescott and the offense are putting up 30 points a game, but the defense can't stop anybody, that imbalance becomes a headline. National media starts talking. ESPN, NFL Network, talk radio. The noise gets louder. And in Dallas, that noise has power. When fans and media both turn up the volume, Jerry has to respond. Whether it's fair or not, public pressure plays a role here. But before anyone rushes to conclusions, there's also the in-between route, not firing Eberflus, but tweaking the structure. Maybe the Cowboys shift some responsibilities. Maybe another defensive assistant takes on more of the play-calling duties. Maybe McCarthy has a bigger hand in defensive game planning. These are all options that could buy time and calm things down without blowing everything up mid-season. Here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments, give me your vote. If you were Jerry Jones, what would you do right now? Option 1. Fire Eberflus. Option 2. Fix the staff. Option 3. Stay patient. Drop your pick below. I'll tally the results and share what the majority of Cowboys Nation is saying in the next upload. And while you're here, if you want to be part of that next video, make sure you're subscribed. We're pushing for 16,000 loyal Cowboys fans, and it only takes a second to hit that button and ring the bell. At the end of the day, this conversation isn't just about Matt Eberflus. It's about what kind of identity the Dallas Cowboys want to have on defense. For years, this team has built its reputation on energy, takeaways, and relentless pursuit. That's what fans expect every Sunday, that aggressive, attacking style that puts fear in opposing quarterbacks. But lately, that spark hasn't looked the same. And it's fair for fans to wonder whether the current leadership is bringing the right fire to match that identity. So the real question becomes, do you still believe in this defense? Be honest. When you watch them line up, do you feel confident they can get that big third down stop? Do you feel like they can close out a tough game on the road against a playoff contender? Because if your answer is yes, then maybe what this team needs isn't a firing. Maybe it's focus, accountability, and adjustments. But if your answer is no, if you've lost that confidence, then it might already be too late for talk. The truth is, Jerry Jones has decisions coming soon that could shape the entire second half of the season. The Cowboys are still right in the mix, still fighting for playoff positioning, and that means there's time to fix things. But the fix has to be real. No more, "We'll clean it up next week" quotes. Fans want results. You want to see this defense come out angry, fly to the football, and make a statement. Because that's what Dallas football is supposed to look like. I'll be honest with you, firing a coordinator mid-season doesn't always solve everything. It can wake a team up for a while, sure, but sometimes it just exposes deeper issues. The better question is whether Eberflus still has the voice and the trust to lead this defense back to where it belongs. And that's something only the players and the front office really know. What we can do as fans is keep holding this team accountable to the same standard that's defined the Cowboys for decades: greatness. Here's what I want you to do right now. Head to the comments and tell me your verdict. Do you still believe in this Cowboys defense? Yes or no? I'll pin the most detailed comment explaining why you feel that way. And we'll feature your take in the next video. And while you're there, make sure you're subscribed. We're pushing hard to hit 16,000 subscribers. And your support genuinely helps us keep bringing you daily Cowboys coverage, game analysis, and the kind of honest discussions you won't hear anywhere else. Hit that like button if you're proud to be part of Cowboys Nation. And if you want to see this team turn it around the right way, through accountability and heart. No matter where you stand on Eberflus right now, remember this: the Dallas Cowboys are never out of it. This franchise has bounced back from worse, and the fans, you, are a huge part of that energy. So keep believing, keep demanding excellence, and keep showing up. Because whether it's changes on the sideline or a resurgence on the field, this story isn't finished yet. And you'll want to be here when the next chapter unfolds.